Over the last couple of days, I've been requested to showcase the load order that I've been using in my 3 previous videos. With that said, today I'll be doing exactly that, as I'll be switching to PC in about 12 days, so I may not even return to the PlayStation 5 version of the game. One thing I should probably mention is I've never done any mod showcasing videos before, so please do keep that in mind. Also, if I get the mod offers wrong, please correct me and I'll add it to the description. Finally, all of the mods will be in the correct load order, so you will not need to worry if it is correct or not. Anyway, without further ado, leave a like on the video if you enjoy it, and please subscribe to the channel for more Skyrim videos. And with that, let's begin with the first mod. The first mod is one that most of you are most likely familiar with, and that is the unofficial Skyrim Special Edition patch. This mod, for those who don't know, is essentially a mod that fixes hundreds of bugs and issues that weren't fixed by the official developers of the game. It's not a mod you may notice, but it would definitely improve your playthrough without you even realising. The next mod is a really simple one, and that is World Map Clear. All this mod does is clears a lot of the clouds from the map to make it easier to see things. I use this primarily for my unmarked location series that I have on the channel, to help the viewers get a better understanding of where each location is. So if you prefer the clouds, then by all means just skip this mod. Moving on, we have the Cheat Room by Draconian Freak, which adds a trapdoor in Riverwood. That is basically a room with every item in the game, as well as cheat items such as a ring that can give you infinite carry weight. This is also a mod that I mainly use for my videos, but I also like to use the unlimited carry weight ring in my main playthroughs, as I am one of those players who like to hoard everything, so this comes in really useful for me. Including the stuff I've already mentioned, the cheat room also includes spell tomes that can immediately give you any power you want, such as different racial powers or beast forms, or standing stones, or shouts, or 24 Berenzire stones, and even unenchanted versions of unique weapons and armor, so you can put the enchantments you want on it rather than the original ones. Up next is a mod called Ring of Peace. This is the last mod in my load order that is more for video purposes, but I'll include it for those who are interested. Pretty much, this mod adds a lockbox, which can be located in the back room of the Temple of Mara in Riften. Essentially, it allows the wearer to not get attacked by anything within a certain distance, which again is really useful for making videos. This next mod for me is absolutely essential for any playthrough. Sorted, named by category, adds a tag at the start of most items in the game, allowing for your inventory to be more organised. For example, without the mod, your arrows will not be grouped together, and so you have to go between other items in your inventory to get to the different arrows, which can be annoying as the one you want could be at the bottom of the list. This mod will add an arrow tag to the beginning of the item name, meaning all of the arrows will be right next to each other. Another useful one is the quest tag, which will tell you if an item is used to start a quest or is used in a quest before you even pick it up. This is one of the mods in the load order that I could not live without, and I'm sure most of you will appreciate your own inventories being a bit more organised as well. The Water and Terrain Enhancement mod is basically a mod that makes changes to how water acts in different environments, in order to make it more immersive, as well as fixing some issues with the water in the game. I'll quickly list the changes that this mod makes, which is on the page for the mod. Flow edits to correct flow in areas that need it. Reduction to excessive fake sparkle. Ocean water now laps. Dungeon water now stagnates and flows like interior water should. Transparency tweaks based on water type. Edits to ponds and small lakes to give them a more gentler flow. Added animation waves around Skyrim with sounds. And finally, Riften now has its own custom water. The Dense Grass mod is a really nice looking mod that will make your game feel fuller of life. I really like how it changes the look of the plains west of Whiterun, but of course it adds foliage to all holds within Skyrim and not just Whiterun. This mod adds tons of more grass pretty much everywhere to fill in the gaps in areas where grass should be. In the description of the mod it says that there may be some FPS drops. However, on the PS5 at least, I can say I have not experienced any issues. So if you're looking for a new grass mod to try out, then this one may be the one for you. ELE Interior Lighting Overhaul is a mod that reduces the ambient lighting inside interiors, so that the light sources can illuminate the surrounding environment in a more immersive and realistic way. This mod is great at giving the atmosphere in the many houses and taverns in Skyrim a cozier vibe. For the weather mod, I am using Obsidian Weathers. This mod introduces 90 new weathers to the base game as well as to the DLCs. There are literally that many different types of weathers that I haven't managed to see all of them. In fact, I don't even think I've seen half of them. In addition to adding new weathers, this mod also illuminates the trees and snow to match their distant models, hides the ocean horizon scene with sky and cloud settings, and naturally saturates the environment through vivid lighting while reducing saturation filters so that objects can illuminate realistically. Something I didn't notice that this mod does is it apparently amplifies the depth of Skyrim by obscuring distant landscapes with rolling fogs and atmosphere, which I think is supposed to hide the low quality textures that can usually be seen far away. Furthermore, each region in the game has got its own unique weathers that won't happen anywhere else, so a weather you can experience in a warmer climate will not occur up northeast near Winterhold. Anna's Skyrim texture overhaul mod aims to change some of the textures within small villages, common furniture, Solitude, and finally Whiterun. More specifically for Solitude, the colour palette has changed to more white, and Whiterun has changed to add more blues and greens to the buildings. Furthermore, this mod also adds some more trees and fauna within the city. I really do love the new and fresh colour scheme for Whiterun, as the addition of more blues and greens are welcome. I also appreciate how the blues on top of the buildings in Whiterun, to me at least, aren't over the top, and for some reason they actually don't look out of place. This next mod, as you can probably tell by the name, is a lighting mod that tweaks various elements of the game's visuals, with the goal to provide a more natural and realistic aesthetic. This mod makes loads of changes such as improved lighting, shadows and contrast, more dynamic weather and atmosphere, cleaner and more reflective water, smooth and natural grass in the tundra, smoother skin with subsurface scattering imitation, as well as some other small visual tweaks. Finally, this mod also adds more trees to the cities, including all of the trees that have orange leaves in Whiterun. These type of trees are usually associated with the Rift, but I think they fit really well within the city. Up next is a Skyrim covered in dirt, a mod that aims to change the rocks and dirt to provide a more realistic and colourful look. According to the description, the author has also changed most of the rock trim colours. The rocks now have different shades of dark colours, which makes the rocks pop more, as well as giving it a more 3D look, instead of the old version that looked very bland and almost 2D. This next mod will be more dependent on your preference, and that is the Enhanced Console Graphics mod by Imperial Agent 1992. Essentially, this mod changes the saturation of different things in the game to make it feel more alive. The mod author has changed the saturation of the grass and trees to make them greener, made the nighttime more blue, changed the interiors to provide a more yellow or orange atmosphere, which the candles and lanterns would cause, and finally the snowy areas of the game are more crisp. With that said, I can understand that some people may not like how saturated things are, so alternatively, you could use the Enhanced Console Graphics V2. This version of the mod turns down how much saturation has been applied. Up next is Forests of Skyrim, which has added over 1,500 new trees to Skyrim to make the forests feel more dense and realistic. You may think that this will cause some performance issues, but on the PS5 at least I can say that I have had no issues. The trees have been added around Falkreath and the Riverwood area, but the author was going to add more trees to the other areas in Skyrim. Unfortunately, however, the mod has not been updated for some time. Point the Way by Arthmore is honestly such a useful mod. Before I installed this, I never used to take the time to actually look at the various signposts around Skyrim. This mod aims to change that by adding some more signposts to several intersections that were either lacking signs or didn't have enough signs to indicate the full extent of where you could travel to on the road. Pretty much the signposts will now have more signs on them to show you how to get to all of the major cities, but also the direction to take to get to the smaller villages and towns. So now the next few mods are going to be city and village overhauls. The first one is City of Kings, Julia's Windhelm City Overhaul. This mod expands the city in many different ways, such as expanding the city itself, the docks, and the outskirts of the city. It overhauls the interior of the palace, expands the market, and also adds a new merchant called Sylvie. The outside of Windhelm now has a new blacksmith that sells some unique armour, and there is a small igloo for you to safely store your items. Finally, there are a massive amount of cosmetic changes that really changes the vibe of the city. For the Riften mod, I am using Julia's Old Town Riften City Overhaul, exterior plus interior. This version of the mod is the all-in-one version, so make sure it says that on the mod cover if you want to download it. Anyway, this mod overhauls the appearance of the many interiors and exteriors of the many buildings in Riften. The ones that have been changed are as follows: the Bee and Barb, Elgrim's Elixirs, the Prawned Prawn, Helga's Bunkhouse, Honourhall Orphanage, Blackbriar Manor, Thieves Guild Headquarters, the Ragged Flagon, the Temple of Mara, Mistvale Keep, and the Jarl's Chambers. Also, I should note that in the Thieves Guild HQ there is now a sleeping room for the player that has a bed and a chest to store some items. The Solitude mod that I'm using is the Great City of Solitude, which was made by Soldier of War and ported to the PlayStation by Be Very Away. Technically, this mod doesn't alter the actual City of Solitude, but rather just the port. Just like the mod description says, the port is one of the most important in the whole of Skyrim, yet why is it so barren? Well, this mod changes that by greatly expanding the port with new homes, shops, and warehouses, which also have been expanded to cover both sides of the Carth River. Furthermore, the stone arc that is holding Solitude has been altered and reshaped to give it a more natural look. Finally, to go along with all of the new buildings, new guards, merchants, and other NPCs have been added to truly make the port feel alive. So I already have a few mods that alter the look of Whiterun. There are already a lot of orange trees that have been added thanks to the natural lighting Aesthetica mod, but I wanted to add more green trees to the city to mix with the orange. and so I downloaded Whiterun A City Full of Life by Dennis83. All this mod does is it adds a wide variety of plant life around the city, as well as adding some insects, birds and chickens. This mod makes Whiterun insanely beautiful, but the downside is that there is one confliction with the natural lighting Aesthetica mod. Basically, there is a tree that clips through a wooden walkway, but if you can look past that, then this combination of mods is amazing. Next up is the Great Cities by Soldier of War and ported by Donkey Kong. This is a bundle of mods put into one single mod that alters the look of Dawnstar, Dragonbridge, Falkreath, Morthal, Rorikstead and Winterhold. I think the mod description describes this mod perfectly, so I'm going to read it from the Nexus page. The Great Cities is for anyone that wants to breathe new life into or was unsatisfied with the minor cities and towns of Skyrim. This mod has lore friendliness in mind and builds upon the unique characteristics of each location. Each overhaul tries to make the areas look significantly different, without altering the vanilla feel and gameplay too much. Merchants are added to the cities of Dawnstar, Dragonbridge, Morthal and Winterhold. So yeah, that is the official description. This mod is great and it really makes every city mentioned feel and look 10 times better. For the remaining city overhaul mods, I'll just put them together, and they are Cato's Ivarstead and Cato's Riverwood. These two mods make some extensions and changes to both Ivarstead and Riverwood to make them feel more lively and genuinely more interesting. For those who have watched my 5 secrets in Riverwood video, this is the Riverwood mod that was used. Ivarstead has now got a small port with some ships and some other cosmetic changes. Riverwood has also got some changes near the water, but I really like the addition of the small banners that have been added alongside the ropes. So there we go, they are all the mods I used to improve the look of my Skyrim on PS5. Let me know if you would add anything else. Thank you for watching and have a great day.